and welcome to Boom It's on the Blockchain. My name's Alistair Caithness, and each week I'm joined by guests to discuss blockchain, Bitcoin, crypto, tokenization, and everything happening in the space. Enjoy the show. Hi, and welcome to Boom It's on the Blockchain. We are in our 97th show, nearly reached 100, and we've got a special guest all the way from Miami, Sergey Gordienko. How are you, Sergey?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me here. It's a pleasure to be here.
Perfect. So just to kick things off, Sergey, can you give a little bit of background about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So I'm a graphic designer. I graduated as a graphic designer and I've been painting on the side all my life as a hobby, never thinking it's going to be a professional or full-time job. I was running creative agency, digital agencies, and graphic design studios all my life. But 8 years ago, actually, when I moved to Miami, I came for Art Basel, and I decided that's it. This is what I'm going to be doing. This is what I really want to do. I want to be physical artist, not only digital artist. I want to do it full time. And I switched completely and switched completely from my previous job to being a full-time artist. And this is the right there. Do what you love. This is my motto or mantra or slogan, however you want to call it. But I believe that do what you love is the most important thing in the world. And this is the message that I incorporate in each piece that I create. Either it's a hat or whatever is it, even tattoo. It's all with this message. And that's kind of briefly about me.
Perfect. So obviously you've got a little bit of an accent. I'm from Scotland, so I've got a bit of an accent. But can you tell a bit about your accent as well and where you're from, Sergey?
Yeah, absolutely. I was born in Vladivostok city. It's farthest of Russia. Close to Japan, Korea, China, all this Asian part of Russia. And then I moved to Moscow, and then I moved to San Diego, then I moved to San Francisco, and now I'm in Miami. My parents, they have Russian, have Ukrainian, so I have a mix between Ukrainian and Russians.
Perfect. Good. So I met Sergey at the Bitcoin Energy Summit. So Sergey was having his art and display there as well. So I know you go to a lot of the Bitcoin events, etc. So when you go to these big Bitcoin events, what are you actually doing as well? I know you speak at some of them as well, Sergey.
Well, I connect or start popularizing Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies and the blockchain technology through my art since 2017, I believe. This is when I create my first Bitcoin art, and because I was so passionate and so thrilled and about the blockchain and all this movement that's happening, and that's the blockchain shift that's gonna apply to all not major, but everything in our world. And I decided I don't want to miss it. I want to be part of it. I want to help people to maybe get involved there or get know more about the technology that's coming up. And that's why I start dedicating some of my artworks, not only do what you love, but also crypto art. I have a special collection of maybe total 20 pieces that I dedicated to blockchain technology and crypto in general. And this is how I popularize this technology through my artworks.
Yeah, and then the mayor of Miami's got some of Sergey's artwork in his office as well as multiple galleries and multiple shows. So what is it about the freedom of blockchain and Bitcoin that fits in line with what your art style is?
That's a good question, and I believe the people who are pioneers of the blockchain and crypto, they're doing what they love, and this is how we connected. This is how we align, and this is why I feel so passionate about it, because I believe these people, whatever they build, they doing what they love, and they really passionate about it, and they want to have a good cause, they have a good intent, um, and they want to change the world in a better place. And I want to be part of it. I want to help them to do my best to like what I can, like through my art, through my community, through my everything, through my life.
Yeah, it's like part of a revolution as well. So we're coming on to like do what you love. How did you come up with that? And obviously, it's created its own movement behind it as well, Sergey.
Right. So I like that's been with me all my life. Like I remember myself, like when I was like a kid, I was printing and writing down like the small notes around my room everywhere to inspire myself. Like, and it was the best quotes that I could find at that moment from different books, from different internet sources. And it was like, believe in yourself, never give up, love yourself, do what you love what you do, and so on. So like you enough, and other powerful messages. And I was around myself, like my room was like just full, completely fulfill of these beautiful messages. And one message particular, do what you love what you do, was calling me the most. And I decided, you know what, I'm gonna paint one of the paintings, like I'm gonna dedicate one of my paintings with this phrase, with this motto. And I painted do what you love first. And a friend of mine, he came over and he said, wow, this is so beautiful, I love it, like can you do one of like something like similar like that for me, for my living room? And I said, yeah, absolutely, I would love to. And then I like share it with on social media, and people, more and more people started to align and resonate with this painting. And I got a lot of requests, and a lot of people start, hey Sergey, like we like what you do, can you create something like that for us? And this is how it started, and this is how I understood that not only for me, it's not only what I believe and resonate with, but that's message need to be seen by other people. And a lot of people resonate with message, with the colors, with the splashes and colorfulness and energy behind. So yeah.
Yeah, so that's super interesting. So where does a lot of your sort of inspiration come for this? What do you read? What religion, yoga, stuff like this?
Everything, like all spiritual. Like I mean, I'm a big part of the spiritual community in Miami, and we have a lot of beautiful people who inspires me. A lot of musicians, poets, yogis, different angels. I call them angels because they give a lot of they heal people in different levels. And like there's so many talented beautiful people around me who inspires me, and I always telling them thank you, how I'm grateful for know them personally and be part of their community. And I don't know, it's just a part of the life that I'm living, and this is where I get inspiration from.
Perfect. So if you think back to how this developed over time, reading your bio, so you're talking about the book The Alchemist, which is obviously a really famous book. Just to give a little bit of insight how that changed your life, like it's changed so many people as well.
Interesting question. That's one of the. I think it was the first book that I read where that helped me to understand there is something more than just like regular life or standard life. So like you can do more. You need to believe in yourself. You need to don't be afraid to move forward and go out from your comfort zone. So that book changed me a lot. I read it when I was, I think, 17 or 18, something like that, like really long time ago. And that became one of my favorite books. And I've been reading it like over like my life, like a few times after that. And every time I read it, I was finding something new for myself and apply what I can apply to my me now. um, and that book was like really I think it's a key or the first step of the transformation of and going to the spiritual awakening direction, definitely.
Yeah, so if you can give an insight to what you believe sort of spiritual awakening is and how your art aligns to that.
Well, first of all, everything that you do with love. That's it. That's kind of the core message. Whatever you do it with love and passion, and when you do it with love, people can feel it, can see it, can resonate with that. And every time before you do anything, just ask yourself: is it comes from your heart? Is it comes from your heart chakra? Is it comes from is it good intention, or it's the shadow work, or something happening? Always align to yourself, with yourself, if it's come with good intention, and if it comes from heart, and that's gonna guide you to next levels of awakeness and next level of transformation. But the major point, I believe, it's everything have to be with love. Whatever you do, how you speak, how you walk, how you draw, how you dress, how you hug, how you kiss, anything like should go through this perspective of love, uh, purpose, and yeah, that's
No, no, that's perfect. That's perfect. So, because I feel it's a crossroads of like technology and spirituality coming together. People think that like the Bitcoin community and that, but freedom, it's just like this freedom to basically be able to do things there as well. And, everyone tries to pigeonhole things, whether it's capitalism, whether it's socialism, whether it's all these different types of solutions to it. But what do you think the future holds for people by using spirituality rather than traditional sort of political viewpoints?
well, I believe that's the shift that's we noticing, or we're seeing happening right now. So there is more and more people every day um, get involved or get interested, or seeing other people how they became more awakened, more aligned with themselves, more happy, more uh, better version of themselves, I believe. And that's happening. We don't need to I believe I don't need to think about the global thing. I need to do my focus on my circle, on myself, and the people who around me, who I can inspire, who I can introduced to the spirituality, to the love vibration and high vibration thing. So we just doing our job, just being good people, good a version of ourselves, and do what we love, and that's it. Other people will see it, will catch it, will apply, will try to apply to their life, and that's how we change in the world, just by doing what we love, by doing good things to ourselves, to the people around us, to the planet in general. And we don't need to take care of the how we're gonna change it, how we're gonna apply what we need to do. No, we don't need to do anything. We just need to do what feels good for us, what feels good, what is right, what is, it should be with love, of course, and that's it. And everything else will align and will um, be amazing.
And then obviously, we met in Miami at the Bitcoin Energy Summit, but, and Miami is now becoming the hub for sort of Bitcoin and blockchain in America. What else is special about Miami, and why so many people now moving there?
Well, as you know, after pandemic, after and yeah, a lot of people from after pandemic, they realize that they don't want to live in the places where the government, or they feel not really free, or so Miami became the the state of the freedom in the United States, or maybe in the whole world, where people start coming from all over the places, from New York, from Los Angeles, from San Francisco, and it's growing and it's beautiful. So, and then the war started, the Ukrainian and Russian war, and a lot of people also came from Ukraine, from Europe, to find the peace and freedom in Miami. And that's why I believe we have the most amazing people here, who's have ambitions, has ideas, has good intentions, and they educated, and they want to change something, and they want to build something. So that's why the Miami is a hub of the smartest, I, I believe, like a smartest people, and the people with who don't want to just surrender and just like, oh, okay, we can't do anything. Like they have strength to move and start over. Um, and Miami is the best place to start.
Feels a bit like when you go to Miami, like America was 25, 30 years ago. You know, when I first started coming here, it's like land of opportunity. It's like every day you can reinvent yourself. And it feels like that in a lot of places in America. But I think with the negativity from social media and people putting them down, and you can't live your dreams, things like that. I think Miami's this place in America whereby it's like the opposite. It's like it's rebirthing this part of that. What do you think of that sort of analogy of it?
I totally agree with you. That's absolutely correct. And I seen, like, I've been in Miami like 9 years now, right? And it's getting better and better and better. I believe it's growing. It's like it's before California was a spiritual center, like of spirituality and the what, how do you call it, hipsters, like hipster kind of style. But now it's like all everything's happening here. And I just moved from Los Angeles, and they have amazing community over there. But I believe Miami community is even bigger and even are stronger. And yeah.
Yeah, I haven't spoken to any people who regret moving to Miami from anywhere in America yet. It's obviously an expensive place. It's a hub, but you know, you sit and speak to people, but it's like everyone's on a hustle. Everyone's trying to make it, and you're surrounded by other people there, and it sort of elevates the place, and it's like exciting to be around. So if you're starting to think about how your art, like do what you love, you know, how are you going to continue to push this message out, and how are you going to basically look to develop as an artist going forward?
Well, there is different methods and different ways how to extend my presence in the world, and I believe the social media is one of the key factors. So like the all social media platforms plus AI plus avatars plus like offline events and and everything. Like, so there is so many ways how you can do it, but I believe that the most official or most I would say the faster way to get where I want to be, it's a social media present. But I like to like personally meet people and like have conversation and get know each other, and it's a different connection, and it's more stronger, and we became friends for many years after that than just like follow each other on Instagram. So that's why I do a lot of offline events and my own art shows, and I gather the best talented artists together so they can express themselves, like poetry, people, fire dancers, like different artists, musicians, live music, and so on, dancers, and we just create beautiful events and inspire each other and having a good time. And people come in there and they just feel amazing because they are part of it. Um, so many things can be used for that, but social media, I believe, and offline present, it's a key.
And then, you know, changing topic a little bit, they're so vibrant, the colors you've got behind your art.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was reading your bio in terms of starting to look at the Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah.
If you start to look at the sort of Indian gods and stuff like that as well, everything's so vibrant that their whole society is based around color, essentially, that people don't really get. How does that influence your art, and in terms of that type of religion and stuff like that, in terms of what you're doing?
Well, I read different gurus and different books that, and I don't have like a one particular religion that I can apply to myself. I took like different parts from different books and different uh, powerful messages and applied to my life, and this is what I believe, and I think everything. everything helped me to find my language, my art language, and the way to express myself. And but my art pieces, they yes, they colorful, they have a positive message and positive colors and vibrant colors. However, I like to experiment, and sometimes I do have like a minimalistic style, and it's like just a black and white. Let's say just no colors at all, because some people like want to have the message and want to have the something like inspirational like that in their office, and their office particularly like a super minimalistic black and white, and they don't see it like a super busy colorful, a lot of layers, drips and craziness in the painting, and they want to have something simple. That's why I'm offering them like, hey guys, for you I have like black and white people, or black and white painting, or black and white, or so different people resonate with different style, different colors, different even calligraphy font, how it's written, and that's all good. It's all about it's the same message, it's same idea, the same good intention, just in different shape and form. It's like my name, Sergey, right? Like in Russian, it's Sergey. In the United States, in Sergey or Sergey or Sergio or Sergio, or so many different variations how to pronounce my name, and I don't get offended like how when people like pronounce my name somehow, like because I know they trying, they want to call me somehow, and same with the paintings, like different for different people, different things. It's all good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect. And then, obviously, we're speaking a little bit about religion, but obviously, so many conflicts in the world is caused by religion, and it goes back to date and time. And it's whether my book's correct and your book's incorrect, and you've got to believe the Quran over the Bible and the Bible over the Bhagavad Gita. What's your message to people out there? Because essentially most people who are religious, the news focuses on extremists, but generally people who are religious they try and follow a set of rules that they're trying to be kind. That's the way I think of most people with religion, until they start telling you how you should be living your life. How do you think the future holds with this sort of movement of spirituality, and how are the religions, do you think they're going to merge together or they're going to pull further apart?
Well, I think again, I'm choosing to focus on my like myself, and what brings me joy and love and happiness and peace, and I try to avoid thinking too much about the things that I cannot change like right away and fix it right now. So, and this is how I believe like the more people will focus on themselves, how to love themselves, how to be best version of themselves, and then the religion, it doesn't matter in the end of the day, because they're all about the same thing. They are so similar in the end, and when people will be like again focusing on the love and themselves and like a high vibration thing, the religion, it doesn't matter if you believe in like Allah or Jesus, or like any other confessions. So, or like it doesn't matter, like because like you are a beautiful, amazing human being who is doing like amazing, like who is living with a purpose, with heart and good intentions, and everything else is it's like a language. You speak English, I speak Russian, Ukrainian, somebody speaks Japanese, like, but we're all human beings, and if we're good people, it doesn't matter what language we speak. It doesn't matter like what our cultures are. If we amazing good people and we can vibrate, like resonate with each other, that's more important. That like if we doing anything with love, we can talk, we can like connect, we can be friends, partners, whatever. It doesn't like language. It's just a one thing that can be uh, translated like by AI, like super easy. Same thing with anything else, like politicians, like your politician beliefs and and other things. It goes on the second place. Like the first place is like how, if you are a good human being, and if you're a good human being, I would love to connect with you. I would love to be friends with you, and everything else we'll figure it out later. Your religion, your politics, your taste in food, or it's the second thing.
Yeah, that's a good answer. I think Einstein did a quote once that all religions, arts, culture, and science are all branches of the same tree.
True.
It's just that it's our inability to see it's all connected. But it's a good way of you're talking about it there. So you're starting to talk about like a higher state of consciousness, essentially what you're trying to achieve. Do you think you achieve that through yoga and art as well as these communities? How does it all connect?
I think I achieved it through the spiritual inner work first, and art was with me like all my life, and I've been painting like since I was a kid. My mother, she's an artist, but the real transformation started like with myself when I started doing yoga, when I started coming to the group spiritual communities, some like sound healing, some cacao ceremonies. And I get more and more involved in these communities, and I was inspired and also intrigued, and like I learned a lot from these people and from what they saying, how they saying, what they teach, how they speak, what vibration they share with. So it took me about like I believe 7-8 years, and the also books. Osho, one of my favorite gurus, that's he helped me a lot to finalize and finish my transformation, I believe, because before that it was like amazing. I was already like vegan and yogish, and walk barefoot, standing on nails, ice cold, ice plunges, and different spiritual like Kundalini and different other activities. But when I read the book called Love, Freedom, and Loneliness, one of my favorite books ever by Osho, and that I think was my final at that moment. Like a final piece of puzzle, you know what I'm saying? Like when like I got like all final answers, all final things that I could not understand before. And when I read this book, I was like, okay, now I'm complete. Now I feel like I totally get it, and I'm aligned with myself, and yeah, I understand.
Perfect. So also, like coming back to the blockchain, I know we've deviated a little bit, but obviously they want to know more about your background. That's great, Sergey. But coming back to the blockchain, you were like an NFT artist. So how does your art go into NFTs, and how do you think the future of art and NFTs are going to come together?
Well, NFTs was an amazing, beautiful technology that like was like super helpful for traditional artists and physical artists, I believe, who get involved in that. So they got supported by community, blockchain community and crypto community, who also driven by technologies, but also appreciate the art. And I mean, a lot of people was also like try to make like easy money by flipping NFTs and getting rich faster. But I'm not talking about these people. That's their choice. I'm not judging anyone. But I'm talking about like my community. They were supporting me and my journey by buying digital pieces for me, like NFTs, just because they want to be part of the movement. They want to be like a pioneers of NFTs, trading, buying, owning things. Plus, they know me personally, or they follow me for a while, and they want to support me through like NFT blockchain technology. And that was amazing. I'm super happy and grateful for that. Um, um, but as you know, like after the NFT, it became like a bear market, and like NFT became not really hype anymore, and people started like kind of I don't know, like I feel like it's in a pause right now. I mean, it's getting better again. Like I think in the future, it will find um, it will find their own place. How it's gonna be used for in like how it's gonna help traditional artists, the physical artists, and I think it's not gonna go away anywhere. It's gonna be part of our life and part of the how you can um, protect yourself, how you can show this is you own this piece, and like all these things that will definitely help artists. Um, or maybe it's going to be something else, like it's an NFT, it's a new technology still, right? Like so, and maybe AI will somehow shift this NFT, and who knows, maybe in 1 year, 2 years, we'll see new thing that's going to replace NFTs, and it's going to be even better. So we're still in the early stages of all these technologies, like either like blockchain, either it's like NFTs, AI. It's we seen it like right away. It's like I mean, every day is happening, something new coming up. So we just need to be I say on the front line and see how we can apply this technology to our life, how we can use it, how we can make our life easier, better, happier, and maybe even like more have more financial freedom from that, how we can learn from that, and how we can help other people with these technologies. So I believe NFTs is a great thing, um, and I'm very excited to see like what's gonna be like, how we're gonna apply it, how we're gonna use it in the future, of course.
Yeah, one of the things that interested me about NFTs for artists was copyright ownership.
Yep, exactly.
Because, as you can still own the piece of art, and a lot of artists don't realize, but you can build it into the smart contract of the ownership piece of art that the artist can always retain a percentage of this piece. So as it resells in value, because, if I bought one of Sergey's paintings for, say, 3 Bitcoin, is that how much they're going for nowadays, Sergey? So I got one for there for, but I know they buy in Bitcoin. So it's, but if we buy, say, for 3 Bitcoin, but suddenly your price goes up and up and up, and then I resell it and I retail it to someone else for, say, 10 Bitcoin, under the traditional model, the artist doesn't get anything from the resale value. What's interesting about the NFTs and this copyright ownership is that now artists can actually sell the art, and if they hash it on the blockchain, and then the artist knows that they own this part of the copyright, and they can retain 5%, 10%, whatever this fee you decide what it is. When it resells for the, say, the 10 Bitcoin, Sergey would still get 1 if it was 10%. Because essentially, if you start going to galleries and 40% or 60% or whatever the gallery fee is, and then do they actually sell at the price you actually sold it to them? And there's all these things there. And I think the blockchain, from this ability to put everything on chain and it's transparent, is going to help the artists in the future, because they'll start to understand this model. What are your thoughts of that kind of thinking with art, Sergey?
Absolutely. I mean, like, I love it. I'm so happy it exists, and like I think it's the most not even official but most honest way to appreciate the artist. And that's especially, like, I mean, people saying like after like that's gonna help even like artist families and kids, and like like next generations to receive some passive, I guess, income from like all these next transactions, resales and second market stuff. So I think it's amazing, again, like it's super beautiful and honest technology that um, we have right now for artists.
Yeah, and it opens it up, because if you think of something like Facebook, I read somewhere that after 10 years, anything you put on Facebook belongs to Mark Zuckerberg.
What?
And if you, yeah, and if you die, yeah, and everything's on there, it also belongs to Mark Zuckerberg.
Oh no, I never heard about that.
Yeah. it's in the terms and conditions when they do an update and it's like about 4,000 pages long and you've either got to hit accept or read this tiny writing, so it's but that's a worry for people out there, because then they resell it, and then there's a lot, especially what I've been seeing some of the stories is that a lot of photographers out there are taking amazing photographs and putting it onto Facebook, and then it's after it's held a certain time, then he's now taking that as a revenue stream and putting on websites where people can actually buy those photographs and use for their own personal thing. Sure. But essentially what it's doing is it's missing out the copyright of that individual artist or that photographer. So it becomes, for art, it's more difficult for them to do, but certainly for photos, they're starting to do that all the time and collecting information and collecting data from you there as well. People think of the negative sides of NFTs, and a lot of them think like, oh, Logan Paul bought this one for this much money and did this and that as well when it was the Bored Apes. But that copyright ownership piece of it there for artists, if you start to delve into it, it can be really interesting. And especially if you get bigger and bigger scale artists, if you can have it whereby you retain a small copyright ownership and you embed it in a smart contract, so you're starting to track who owns this piece of art. Now, even if they buy it anonymously, it still will go and chain that the transaction happened. And if that transaction happens, you'll be able to see the value of it because you're tracking it essentially through a smart contract. And then you will get a residual income going in. And I think for future generations of artists, because as we're downsizing, so a lot of people are inheriting the house from their parents. They can't afford the taxes. They've got a house full of stuff. They're taking all that stuff and information, and then what they're going to do, all these paintings, all that, we'll have one of these garage sales out front. Anything else, we'll just throw it away. So people aren't even aware that they've actually got a lot of stuff that's worth a lot of money because they can't afford to pay an appraiser $1,000 an hour to assess this stuff. How are you going to do that? But suddenly, if we start putting all this information on blockchain and people are able to see it, it provides an avenue for someone who's inheriting something with an ability to start to put valuation on it. Now, the insurance companies are not going to suddenly say, oh, well, now it's worth $1 million and then we're going to write this thing off there as well without a proper evaluation. You can't just go with some information.
Right.
But for a lot of the people out there, this technology is going to allow them to actually essentially take this artifact or take this painting and actually manage to get a ballpark figure. You're essentially using AI now as well. AI can go in there and tell you, how much ballpark figure can be for a piece of artwork. So you could be just having this artwork that was sitting in your granny's house for 40 years. You didn't really know how much it was worth. The artist has passed away. You've got no idea what it is. It's difficult for you to do it. You've got no way to, in the past, it's like, where do you go? You're going to go to Sotheby's? Sotheby's will see you coming a mile off, it's, oh, this person, yeah, we'll give you a couple hundred for that. Then it's on sale for like 300,000 later. There's a lot of stories like that. And they're not doing anything that's illegal. They've just got knowledge on this art. But I think what's interesting about what the blockchain and the technologies coming in is it's allowing people to access this ability to provide valuations on it out with, the traditional route. And, if you find an AI valuation of your artwork that says it's worth 100,000, then you're happy to pay $500 for some guy to basically do it. So how do you think art is going to change through the blockchain and this technology as well, and especially AI as well? I'm interested to find out your thoughts on AI and art as well, sir.
Well, I think it's gonna help people to express themselves more easier and so like right now you can just like type any prompt and create any paintings that you like in any genre, any style, any like fantasy, whatever you have in your mind. So, and I think it's a beautiful tool for people who is not really like a real artist, like a physical artist, to explore themselves and see what they can create by using these technologies and AI in particular. So I think it's a good thing, and maybe some of these people will be like inspired and say, oh, wow, this is like what I really want to do. This is like I'm gonna be doing digital art now. Like I'm so good at it, and I like it, and people around me saying it's beautiful, and somebody wants to use it or pay me money for that. So I think it's just open doors for more people to become artists, different genres, different types, different styles, and uh, I seen it as a good positive thing that's happening right now. And again, all these technologies can take some jobs and some tasks that we don't want to use our energy for, and do it automatically on the end, and we can focus on something that brings us joy and happiness, like creating the music, creating the paintings, whatever, photography, or like writing lyrics, like poetry, whatever that we want to. So I feel it, I see it as a positive, for sure.
Yeah, no, I agree with that as well. And I know everyone's got this fear of AI, but, as we've evolved over time, it was only 150 years ago there was like, and not even a billion people in the world. Now we're up to 8 billion people. And if you go back 1,000 years, it's like a million people in the world. So it's like we're moving in the right direction quite quickly. I think what's going to happen, what we spoke about originally, is this spiritual awakening of the arts. This is going to be this new cultural revolution that people are starting to see come in. And you're still going to get these places in the world whereby, yeah, we're driving down profits. We want to do things with sweatshops. We want to do this as well. But as machinery comes in, it's not like suddenly, oh, well, that person no longer has to work in a sweatshop, or that person no longer has to work in a coal mine when they're 6 years old. But that's actually a good thing. They want to do that job. They're having to do that job just essentially to live. I think with people like yourself and this movement of spirituality and art and culture, it's becoming much more to the forefront as well for that. So I appreciate your busy guy, Sergey, and I was thinking, what are we going to talk about after 5 minutes? And now we're nearly past the 45-minute marks. It's been perfect. So just to finish off the podcast, Sergey, can you tell everyone a little bit more about how they can find more information about you if they're interested to buy your art and some events you're going up to in the rest of the year?
Yes, absolutely. So please follow me on Instagram. It's dowhatyouLove.artist, or find me on website. It's dowhatyouLove.art. And also on all social media such as TikTok, Twitter, like Discord, anywhere. It's Do What You Love Artist. You can Google it. You can find me easy. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to be here.
Brilliant. So that's been a great podcast. Thanks very much for your time, Sergey. And hope you have a nice day. Okay, thanks to everyone out there. You've been watching Boom It's on the Blockchain. My name's Alistair Caithness. Have a nice day.